Hey guys, what's up? We're a little early. Figured we'd pre-game, pre-party
Because Bill's
before.
on time.
Yeah.
Bill's always on time. He
I
was
try
actually earlier
really
than us.
hard. No, you what? Okay. God, I am always on time, except I fucked up my own show with Chase, the last one that we did. That
Oh, really?
we were doing the, looking at the inside the leaderboard,
Yeah.
and we had all the stuff we were going to be talking about. And he's like, okay, I'm going to be going on this trip with with my wife and kids and stuff. So, I need to talk about the time. I'm like, okay, cool. So, like, maybe do it like I'm good for 10:15 if you need to. He's like, can we do like 10:30? I'm like, yeah, totally. All I heard was our normal 10:30. I wasn't thinking Central Time,
Right.
10:30. So I'm getting text messages in the morning like, hey, are you coming? And I'm looking at my phone like, that's kind of weird. He must be setting this stuff, like sending John the link or whatever.
Yeah.
By the time I look at it, it's like almost 9 my time. And I'm like, oh shit, man. I thought you meant my time is like, I thought you meant 10:30. He's like, well, yeah, my time. I'm
My
like,
time. My time 30.
so it's so bad. Like we've been doing this now for 4 years, and
Yeah.
we still don't know what time frame that we talk in. It's like it has to be said every single time.
I always put
So
EST
dumb.
at the end.
Yeah.
Like if
So
you know
dumb.
it.
Well, and she now gives dates because there was one miscommunication
Oh
with Sean
yeah.
Woodland where
Oh.
it was like we set the Saturday, she set the Saturday, and they both confirmed, but she thought the
I
next
said next.
Saturday, and he
Yep.
took it as the one that was coming up, and so she was actually wrong at this time.
Yep.
And he's like, "Are we going on?" And she's like, I'm not home, so no, we're not going on. We were like out. We weren't even home, so we couldn't even jump on anytime.
I
So
felt so bad. I beat myself up all day about that. It was crazy. Oh my
I
god.
did the same thing. Chase, man, I'm so sorry. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. And I don't like that. I like that. That is, I hate when I do something so dumb like that. And it's not, I mean, it is, it's a pure mistake. And it's I mean, it's not, it really isn't a big deal, but I don't like doing that. I don't like to it's not like I'm a people pleaser. I don't like to let people down, but like, I don't want to mess something up when it's completely,
Yeah.
avoidable, man. Like that should have never happened.
Yeah.
So dumb.
For sure.
What's up, everybody? Hey, Mike. Good to see you, dude. Kenneth, Jeremy, the man version of Sevon. Yeah, that's right. That was a funny day. Jody Lynn, what's good, girl? Vicky, Mr. Summer, hey, and then Mr. Jake Chapman. How's Bill's toe? What happened to your toe?
I don't know what happened to my toe. What's he talking about?
I don't know. Oh, it's Jake being Jake again. Really, at the beginning of the show?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? I mean, maybe it's, I don't know. All my workouts have been like barefooted lately.
Oh.
So maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Is that something new that you've just started?
Not as of late, I guess. I mean, when we first did CrossFit, like way back, I mean, we weren't wearing, I mean, it was just shorts, just shorts and like whatever running shoes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Being a master's athlete, you get like the master's uniform, which is every possible piece of like supporting equipment that you can have for wrists and fingers and elbows and arms, a single arm sleeve and weight belt and knee sleeves and compression gear and
you're like,
ankle,
wow, okay, cool.
like and the lifters, and it's like your bag gets gigantic. And then COVID hit and I pared it down to nothing again, so I don't have any of the stuff again. So it's just been kind of fun. Just feels good, like especially when it's like sunny out. It just feels good to do that. Just I don't know, just not for any real reason, just because it's like, oh, I'm gonna get outside in the sun right now. Yeah,
they can. Yeah, really can.
Plus, if I am supposed to be like Sevon, I mean, he only works out in no shoes,
That's
so
right.
I need to make sure that I'm the better looking and better version of the Sevon in all elements. There you go.
Well, I was worried for I think everybody was worried for the double unders in 25.2 of like, is he going to do double unders barefoot? And watching his video, I'm so glad he did it in shoes. Did you see his video? He lands so hard.
So hard. I will say that like I debated whether I was going to do that one in shoes or not. Like I actually, because I had been working, I'm like, man, I haven't done any workouts for probably about a month or so with any shoes on. And course, I haven't been doing any jump ropes either. So I specifically wasn't doing that, but yeah, I had to think about that. So that was the first workout that I had with shoes on. And thank God I actually had a good double under day. Like I'm a 50-50 kind of guy. Either I'm like, I will set the world on fire with the most unbroken double unders of all time, or I can't get past 7. And it's either one or the other. Like I don't have it. It's either one or the other.
There's
And
no
I
in
just
between.
happened to be really good on that day. So which I'll take it. It was good.
That's me. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I either have them that day or I don't have them that day.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Like you would think with like with wrestling and with all the years of CrossFit and even competitive CrossFit that I would be a little bit more smooth with that and just way more consistent. I'm just not nearly as consistent as I want to be.
Yeah.
But
Did you? Well, here,
it's fine.
here's the.
Don't worry about it.
Here it goes. Snacks, food,
Snacks,
dog.
food,
I got-
dogs.
I just went to Starbucks with my daughter and her friends, so like I'm like, we're set, we're good.
You're
We're good for
like,
a
what
minute.
can I give you to sit for a little bit to hang out?
No,
with each other?
they're 9 and 10-year-olds being like big kids right now. They're like the 16 and 17-year-old. Like, geez, man, we got to slow it down.
Yeah.
Just slow it down, please.
And they only call you when they need something. You're like, hey, girls, you want to go do this? They're like, no. They're like, and then you're like, what about Starbucks? Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely go to Starbucks, but that's about it.
That's awesome. I have so much fun with these guys. We're actually going to go to so this is what we're doing. So like I get them their whatever their pink drink or whatever the thing is that they're drinking. And after this, we're going to go to the beach because we're going to get a bunch of shells and rocks and stuff because they're going to make these matching brushes. So we went to like Five Below and got like these plain brushes, and they're going to like glue all the rocks and stuff to the back and make like this like rock shell mosaic brushes for their hair.
Very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, cool,
Hey.
man. All right.
You are
I'm a girl dad, man. Like
you are
100%.
such a girl dad.
It's the crazy.
You don't understand anything you're doing, but you're just doing it because you have girls.
Well, whatever it is, I'm like I like to think that I'm relatively decent at that. I mean, not let's say that I'm the the greatest or whatever, but like I'm pretty good at that stuff. And like I was always, my whole family, we were all boys. We were all artsy jocks. I mean, we all have something to do with like arts and crafts or music or whatever. And so I always liked doing that. But like my next brother down, he's got 2 boys. And like we will FaceTime with them, and it's like their boys are like how we were. It's like you're in the mud, you're in the dirt, you're throwing things around, you're jumping off of like this wall, and you're, whatever. It's like we would just be doing things. And then like with my daughter, it's like we're creating things, we're coloring things and painting these and coloring those and music and singing. And it was fun. I'll still take her to the beach. I'll try to rough her up a little bit, but
Yeah, you got it.
Around
You
I mean,
got it.
I have, the tomboys. I mean, that's what they are. It's fun. They got to be able to play too, so it's good.
Colleen did 25.3 yesterday.
I did.
Yeah.
She survived.
I did.
So, what were you afraid going into that one? Of the 3, which one were you afraid of?
This one I would say the most, but overall I was just afraid of doing all the open workouts because of my back. So I stopped CrossFit a couple years ago because of my back, and I've had a ton of back issues before, during CrossFit, and then after CrossFit. So really wanting to get back into it, talking to Taylor, signing up, working with Sentinel and whatever, I'm very overly aware and overly conscious about it. So I'm like, but almost to a point of obsession, I think, just because I'm so scared about it.
Yeah.
So for this one, I was like, well, I'm going to do it. And at first I was like, God, there's so many wall walks. Like that was the first thing I saw.
Yeah.
But then the one thing I did not want was a 155 deadlift. And Dave was like, well, here, you can do it 25 times. Go ahead, right in the beginning. You know what I mean? So I was very nervous for the weight of the deadlift. So out of the 3, this one I definitely was like the most scared of. And
we were at CrossFit.
Yep.
We were at CrossFit Chief Nation.
Jet's in
Chief
here.
Nation. I see you guys
What's
in
up,
there.
dude? Yeah, it was great, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. She did Sofa King good.
Yeah, Sofa King.
Thanks.
So there's Jet right there. Right there.
Yeah, I
Judging
saw you guys had this up. That was awesome. You were moving great.
That was cool. And so just for record, at Chief Nation, the lines were separate. There's not one long ass line across the entire floor. As you can see, everything was to standard the way that it was
I mean,
supposed to
he's a
be
Hiller Fit affiliate.
in the
Jet
rule
doesn't
book.
play around. Like
So
movement standards, everything is top notch.
here's what the setup looked like at CrossFit Chief Nation. It was fantastic. The whole crew was awesome. We saw a guy go right before Colleen too. He did it in like, Jet, can you how old was that dude? He did it in like 17 minutes. And I mean,
sold his freaking
when he
soul.
got off the rower, he couldn't get his shoes out of the rower, so he just left his shoes in the rower and rolled out. It was amazing. He's 35. Yeah, okay. Richie, I think his name is. He was it was so they had the guy that was trying to get his first wall walk. He was a big dude, like 6'5", 220.
Yeah.
He was trying to get his first wall walk, and he fought for like 10 minutes to get it, and then got on the rower.
Yeah.
He got through all 5, got on the rower. It was so cool.
It was so good.
The atmosphere. It was great.
And you see, so Jet obviously before, because I was in the second heat, so before he judged me, he is walking around being the affiliate owner, making sure everybody's got their stuff. And so Jet's on the far end of the gym, and the other guy's on the other side of the gym. So when he got it, you hear Jet shouting from the other side, like, let's go. Like, was so happy. But then you have the woman that was judging there was a woman judging another woman right next to this guy. And you see her like, she's like twitching every time that he goes up a little bit more, because she's so worried that he's going to fall and hurt himself. So that was so fun to see like all different types of reactions in the gym.
We're being that you saw the wall walks first, would you have been more nervous if they started with the row and ended with the row, so you didn't start with the wall walks?
I would have been better if it was just starting off with the row. Like take out those first 5 wall walks. But I'm grateful that that Jet Avi explained the standard again to us, but also talking with Taylor, watching him do it when he did it Thursday night first. And then with Sentinel, you do have a coaching call with him, with everybody. And so what I used to do is I would do the feet up on the wall, and you're like this. And then I would start to try to walk this way. So I had never done the strategy that I actually did in this video, which was I jumped both my feet up. And the minute my feet were up on the wall, I just went back. So I have to say, like, best wall walks I've ever done. My shoulders did not blow up once. It was more my engine than anything else. I mean, I did rest longer between each wall walk than I thought. I thought I was moving faster.
Go back and look at videos like that. You're like, I was moving so fast. And like, hey, did you put this on slow?
I know.
Yes.
No, I just.
I'm watching,
what's happening?
and I'm like, are you gonna? Did I go yet? No. What the fuck? Like I felt like I was laying there. Meemwad put that reel up where it was, or the meme up where it was the person laying there. Like, this is what I'm gonna look like in 20. That's exactly what I looked like.
She was going. You look so jacked though. Like your shoulders just look jacked as hell. I mean, you had to be in. So I'm yelling at her, you're freaking fine. Your shoulders are huge. What are you doing? Like you have boulders in your shoulders. Let's go.
It wasn't my shoulders, but Jet was this. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, see, face down.
No, but this Jet told me this afterwards. He's like, the grunting was very. Every time I came down, I was like, ugh.
You can't. You can't help it. I remember when they first brought the wall walks in, people would lay like their gymnastic mat down.
Yeah.
So they would just do this dive bomb slide. So it was completely weightless coming down to the ground. I mean, they would just the hands would just kind of motor to the line, and the body just whap right on the mat. Can't really do it on the
Did you see any face plants in your gym this year?
We didn't see one, and we had 2 people get their very first. We had this one girl that got her very first wall walk, had never ever done it, had tried, but like would do more of like more getting up on her hands at the wall, but it was more kind of a pike position. And she was able to get up, got one, the very first one she did, and then tried for the next, I don't know, 19 minutes and 30 seconds to get the rest of them. And didn't. She didn't get them. But like I told her, I go, you just beat all the world record holders of the scaled division. Great job. Yeah. Like you got the one. And you know, everyone will say like, you know, they don't get a very good workout because they spent all this time on that. She was sweating all over the place, and you know, her shoulders, she's always, you know, grabbing at her shoulders, because that's a lot. That is a lot. If you have not done that,
Yeah.
you are putting a lot of weight, your entire body weight, overhead. And that's a lot. So we did have a lot that struggled with that. I thought the ones that were really interesting were the ones that could do them. In the first set were awesome. And then you got to set 3. And it was like every single one, arms were down, like laying flat, face was on the ground. And nobody wants to touch the floor with their face any other time.
Except for that,
during wall walk. Like no one at that point gives a shit that like they're gonna have this big old black mark here. Like you can't tell on my chin because I got a beard down here, but like a big old black on the chin, black on their face,
or the hands go out to the side, or the hands go out in front,
Hey, Travis,
all that
what's up,
stuff.
dude?
Like just trying to. So are you like? So
hold on, let me just do this one last thing with the handstand push-ups. Megan, my worst fear is face planting. There is also another lovely lady at the gym last night. She was amazing, and she's strong as hell, and she was ready to go through
Tara,
through the deadlifts and she was ready. All the barbell stuff, she was ready to go, and it was the wall walks for her. And she was so adorable. She like walked her hands back. She got one hand back and then pulled it forward and then hit the line with the other hand and pulled it forward and dropped down and looked at her judge and was like, "Does that count?"
Like,
and the judge looked at me and was like, "Does that count?" And I was like, "No, babe, I'm sorry. That doesn't count." I was like, it was a great effort.
But she fought so hard for it. Like you really wanted to give that to her because she fought so hard for it.
That's funny. Yeah, people. I mean, they really did have to work, and it was crazy. Like if you have a wall walk, you really forget how hard that is to get that like that last 4 inches of space to get your hand back. Like everyone gets the one, and then you see the other arms kind of bouncing, trying to get it back, trying to commit to going more upright, trying to just touch and go off the line. Like I kept telling everyone, I'm like, don't make it to where you get to the line and you're sitting there. Get your one hand and kind of lean to that one arm a little bit and then touch and go so that you're off that line, so you're not trying to like, you don't have to change your body position really. But yeah, that's the last thing you want to do is see someone take 30 seconds to get up. I mean, some of these people, when they're going up, they're on their hands for a rep for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time. So I mean, it was a very fun workout to watch people do. I think that it was a great class testing workout.
Do you think it's the best one that it's been in a while? Like everything, the open announcements, the workouts, the hype, the getting to see it live, the people that went and did it. Like, do you think it's been the best one we've had in a minute?
The announcements by far, without a doubt. I mean, it having starting off with Rory and just his energy was amazing. Like he, up to this point, no one does it better. Nobody. I think that was great. Even when they brought in, the other announcers, when they had, Joel on the last one and they had Adrian on the second one, it was still good because at least those guys are trying to emulate the flow of the first one. So it was that, and it was I thought the announcements themselves, the lead up, the media stuff, the ads that they were doing for it, like the comic booky looking setup, I thought was amazing. The storylines that they put on there were amazing. So I think there was a lot of really great hype with that. I think when you guys had Lauren on, that one of the points that she made about how it was condensed better. And I think you were right, Colleen, when you said that like all of the ads and all the promo stuff that they do on the lead up is exactly how they should do it. That if you have time to sit there and watch all that,
you get hype.
But like not everybody has all the time to do all that. So let that build with the people that are there, and as it grows and the watchers and the viewers get it starts to grow, then you get on there, boom, get into it, announce it, hit it, watch us, see what it does, and then we can get on with whatever it is that we're doing, whether we are in the middle of class when we're watching it, but we're still trying to work, or you're trying to figure out for your athletes and for your Friday Night Lights if you have that coming up, or whatever it is. But I thought the tempo, the timing, and everything was great. Personally, I don't think that the workouts were the greatest. I think that they were each individual workout, I thought, and this is where we get kind of program and nerdy on this one side. Each individual workout, I think, was a awesome workout. But the totality of the three, I don't think, for what the Open was trying to do, as far as one of its big tasks is to get the top 1% to semis. And I don't think that these tests showcase the top 1%. I just don't. There were a lot of things that were missing. Do I think that they gave the general CrossFitter some great event? Yeah, totally. But
I was going to say that's probably why I liked it. I thought it was great.
well, and that's it's hard, because I mean I watch my members, and they have a blast doing it. Cool, and I think that that's important. But like, if we're looking at the general CrossFitter that can do most of the movements, okay, the hardest thing that we did was 15 bar muscle ups, which really isn't that hard. I mean, for people that can do them, and I'm not talking about people that haven't gotten one yet. I'm not people that like they're 50-50 on they get one. Like for those people, like I understand like that skill level is there. But what that did do is that pull up, chest to bar muscle up, there was that progression, and there will be people that will get their first pull up, and then that will be their thing, and then that will split. Because the other thing that I see, and I really want it to succeed, is the Community Cup. I really want to see that. I thought it was completely ridiculous when they first announced it. I was just like, oh God, here we go. This is going to be the dumbest, most watered down bullshit thing. Levels again. We're talking about, I have this badge. I don't even know what it's for. It doesn't mean anything to me. But I like the idea that, okay, you're taking the quarterfinals out. You still basically have it, because the top 12%, the tens and nines, are in that pro group, and I really, they haven't said it. I really think that they will. And if they don't, then they are missing a massive opportunity to really push that from there is one of the spots that you get to go to the games, or get to go to the semis, or get to go to something from that. I just think that would be really, really important. But it then gives all of the other people a chance to compete against their people. But I think with that, because they have that set up, you need to make sure that you have breaks in the action, the increases in skill level, the increases in weight. Like the heaviest thing we did, and I, you're coming off a back injury, Colin, so like I get it. I can see how that would be an issue. But like 225 for 25 reps, like we did 100 plus burpees, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, so we did 100 of them, and now we're doing 25, and now we're saying, oh, we're getting heavy. And it's like, we're not really getting heavy. If we were getting heavy, that I think we missed it on that one, because I see it as the first event was capacity based, 25.1. I see the second one is, okay, there's your gymnastics skill progression.
Right.
So if you have capacity, you have gymnastics, like the wall walk should not be the test. It should be the weight, I think.
Gotcha. So you do think it should have been like 185 for women and whatever for men, or something like that?
I would have said, like originally when I was kind of thinking of what it would be with all the leaks and everything that came out, I was thinking that it would be, my original idea was 4 rounds or 5 rounds, depending what they wanted to do. 15 calorie row, 10 deadlifts, 5 wall walks. But the deadlifts weight increases. So
Gotcha.
like, you could go whatever, 135, 185, 225, 275, 315, or start at 185 and go up, whichever, something like that, so that it's heavy. We've done 365 in the Open before for men, which I think is is that 255, I think, for women when we did that, something like that.
Never got that far. Would never be able to touch that weight, so it's fine.
Yeah, it was that in the box jumps or something like that way back in the day. Hold on, you guys good? Yeah, what's up? Are you just saying hi?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hi.
They said hi back. But so I think that they like that was an opportunity that was missed. If they wanted to go the 3 barbells, the deadlift, the clean and jerk, and the snatch, then okay, why not go 275 on the deadlift, 185 on the cleans, 135 on the snatch. Something to where you can get people that can do it.
Yeah.
But it's heavy. Like,
I mean, for me, the 155, I agree with Meg. Like the 155 was just fine. And I think that somebody else was saying that too, where it's like when I first looked at this 155 and then jumping down to 85 for the clean, I was like, that's a really big jump down.
Massive
a
jump
huge
down.
jump down. So
Yeah.
I thought it should have still been, 3 digits for the women. Obviously 3 digits for the men, but 3 digits for the women. Now doing it, I'm very grateful that it was 85. Thank you very much. But I just thought that was such a big decrease in weight, for literally only having 5 wall walks in between. And then you're going down to such a low weight.
Yeah.
So I kind of was surprised that it did jump down so far with that.
You guys want to get on the camera or what?
Come on. My kid does it all the time.
So there's my daughter, and there's her best friend right there.
Hi.
What's up, guys?
You guys can't hear him because I got him on the headphones right now. No attitude at all there, huh?
No,
none.
I love it. Get it.
I love it.
I think that where was I going with that? The jump down in the weight, I think was I don't know why we do the 135-85 thing. I just don't understand that at all anymore. It's 185-95 or 135-95 is like those are the numbers. So I don't know why it drops down. And I just really feel that if those weights would have been too heavy, that's fine. Then just make it to where one of the weights, pick one bar and increase that. Because I think that like whenever you're putting a test like that together, it's like, what are you trying to test? Because they all of them were hard. Like I was breathing hard. I haven't done the last one yet, but like on all of them, like the last set of thrusters on the last one is not heavy. And I don't even do thrusters anymore. But like it's not a heavy thruster. Doesn't mean that I wasn't doing sets of like 2 and 3. Like I was tired, like but so what we were testing ended up, if you have the capacity for the skill, then again we're like, okay, well, you just how hard can you make yourself breathe?
Yeah.
Like that's what it ends up being. And and I know it sounds bad when I say that, like, that the weights weren't right, because that always makes the people that like, okay, well, if they were struggling with the weight, that they aren't in this genre or ability level or percentage or whichever it is. But I think that like there's got to be a point where you can separate the group, and for maybe 50% of the group, maybe it did split the people who are in the 3, 4, 5, and 6 level. But you get up towards the top and like they didn't get tested. They just like, how fast can you go?
So then
sorry, I was vindicate. I'd like to see an elite division and a community division for the open. Athletes doing the last workout in half the time allotted is nuts.
Well, that was going to be my question is, because they're putting the emphasis on the open being very, very important for the top 1%. Like they want to make the open important again.
Right.
Is there a way to do it? Because from what you're saying is that the elites really weren't tested. We got tested to the max. Like
my wife
every day.
Earned every score she got. She earned that.
Yes, shit. I did. Thank you very much. But is there a way to do that, or do you do it in a way where do you go back to 5 weeks? Is it 5 workouts? Is it 4 workouts where it's like you're building up and then that last one is really a separator? Or what you're saying is that this last one that normally would be a separator for the top was almost missed. There was like a miss with that.
Yeah. Yeah. After the first event, I remember me and Chase talked about this on our show. After the first event, he's like, so how are you feeling? Are you nervous about it? And I go, okay, there's still a lot that can be done in the next 2 events. So I'm not worried yet. Then the second one came out and I was like, okay, it seems to me that we just whittled down to what we are going to be able to do.
Mhm.
And then this one came out, and I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I feel like we missed it. So I do think that there is a way to test our top level athletes and our general competitors. I don't think that you need to have, I think if we have a separator between an elite division and then the community division, then what that does, once again, is it puts a divide between the CrossFit community. And
Yeah.
as much as there is a division right now between like the CrossFit community and the, you know, the WFP and the WTF and whatever that is they're trying to do with their thing. The people that support the CrossFit athletes are the CrossFit members. Like, they are the ones that buy their stuff, that buy all the Rogue equipment and whatever shoe brand is the brand at that time. They're the ones that support the sport. They really do. The athletes don't support the sport. They compete in the sport, like, cool that they're there, but they don't support it. So if we split that, I can almost guarantee that the general gyms will just kind of be like, oh, maybe we'll do that. It's like that when they did that after the Open there, or after it was the games, they used to do that that team competition.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
they would have, it was like, is it pairs of two? And
Yeah.
you know, there would be like some named athletes that would do it, but no one else would really do it because, like, well, why? Well, I don't even know what we're doing it for. It's fun if they would, you know, I know they tried to do some community things, like when they did that work lift run. That was kind of fun, but it was again, it was like, to sign up to do it, it just didn't seem, I mean, we did it. We did the workout in the class, but we didn't jump into the big community part of it. So I don't want it to be like, I like the fact that all of the athletes that are at the games did the exact same workout that you did, Colleen, like every single one of them, because you are now connected with on that, like that big tapestry of CrossFit athletes. You all drank the same water. You all had to do the same thing. No other sport has that,
which is so cool.
So maybe it was that part A and part B that Ed AI and Vindicate are kind of talking about, where you had like the heavy lift part B and the
so
there was like 4 scores instead of 3 scores.
When we had the 3 and they did that, they would do like a 2-part scoring. Again, that's not, I liked it, but they didn't score it right, because what ended up happening at that one is like, okay, well then the one heavy lift became worth more than all of the other workouts. Like, if you were just a heavy lifter and you sucked at all the stuff, well, now you're 25% above the rest of the field. Well, so there are ways that have to be fixed. They have to fix it, but you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like, is how heavy you can lift actually the best separator?
No, and see, that's the thing. It shouldn't be, but you do have to have a level of strength. So the best workouts that have ever been programmed for the Open are the progressive weight ones that have happened. So there was in John and those guys, they know the numbers so much better than I do. I just remember doing it. I don't like
remember.
I don't like 0.2. I lose those all the time. But the event that was the toes to bar jump rope and the squat clean. The squat clean was 15, then 13, then 11, then 9, then 6, then 3, and it went from 135 to 315. And that, I remember where it was. I mean, it was in someone's garage. It was freezing. It was BKG and it was Dan Bailey.
Yep.
I remember all that now. I remember everything about it
except the number.
So dumb. I'm like the opposite of John. He remembers all the numbers. I remember the other stuff.
The people in the
but what that event did was it tested, okay, you had some double unders in there, fine. There was the toes to bar, fine. There was the weight that increased, and you also had a time factor on that if you were straining to get the 185, well, you would get time cap. So there was a stop gap on time.
Yep.
There was a stop gap on weight.
Yep.
And I mean, and I've done that one in the gym. It just programmed it as a regular workout where, okay, instead of them being worried about the time frame, I just said, okay, it's a 20-minute AMRAP. Go as far as you can.
Yep.
And so you're not stopped by the time, because then you still get to work with the weight. Because I think that it's important. I've always been a fan of large loads, long distances quickly, not light loads, a lot of reps quickly. I mean, we do that all the time. Like that's the majority. That's what everybody does. So there are ways. So there was that event. There was the box jump deadlift one that increased. It was like 30 reps of deadlift, and it got like to 365 and whatever 255 or whatever that weight was. We've done the ones where there was the one that I thought the repeat would be was 20, and this one I do remember because I talked about it so much, 21.3 and 4, which was lightweight thrusters and front squats for 15 reps each. And in the middle, you had 30 gymnastics, and it was toe to bar for the first one, then chest to bar, and then bar
muscle ups.
30 bar muscle ups like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now you're testing the people now.
Yeah.
Because you're going to test everybody. All of the elites will do the 15 unbroken, but not all of them are going to do 30 unbroken.
Right.
And then right after that, you get into the complex with the deadlift cleans, hang clean, jerk.
Yep.
And like
that one that was the year I got what 4 or 5 muscle ups.
You did great on that one.
Pulled that shit out of nowhere.
Yeah. See, like
out of nowhere.
I think that one was good because what it did there was, okay, you had to have the gymnastic capacity. You had to have the strength on that. You had to have the skill for sure. And the efficiency to get 30 in that time frame. And then the weight was okay. Well, now like it's a complex. And usually when you start putting complexes in there, it's not just someone who has the heaviest squat. Yeah. It's not just your clean and jerk champions. I mean, this one, it definitely, it leans towards the clean and jerk. I get it. But what you do is that you then take your event, your first event and your second event, and what you score on that, and then you just average your 2 scores. So if you're first on the gymnastic and you're whatever 100th on the weightlifting, okay, well then you now average that score, and your overall between the two would be 50, and then that's where you go. Jeez, oh man, Jeremy, I do like to move them quickly, but not the load that you're talking about, dude.
I wasn't gonna take it there. But I knew someone in the chat would take it there. I just
says the one guy who made sure that he took his shirt off in your show and had to like go showcase himself.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, got it.
He sees you.
Hey, I did want to get in. We wanted to get into this before you had to go too. Vicky asked it at the top, but did you get to see any of Kill Taylor today?
I did not. Again, I'm girl dadding it right now.
Yeah. Oh, that's
what
right.
happened.
Yeah,
How'd it go down? How'd it go down?
It was
so fun.
So good.
It was so funny.
Jason came in to take Taylor's lunch money, and he did this whole the whole bit was that he wasn't even going his hardest and still beat Taylor.
Yeah.
And so then immediately after that, Colton comes on and stomps on him by like a minute and a half.
Mop small.
Basically almost sets a new world record. I think he was what was down 9:22. Colton did 9:30
something. It was close.
Something like that.
Wow. He was moving so fast on those wall walks. It was crazy.
I've never seen anybody do rebounding wall walks.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Jason, as soon as Colton got on the screen, Jason looked like he was gonna cry. It was so much fun.
It's really funny. If I was to look, I mean, like it's so funny. Like Taylor has a natural look about him. Like he just looks like he's got like an angst to him. You know? He just does, and it's great. What the coolest thing about him is he is so damn fiery, but he is such a fucking sweetheart of a guy. Like he's just when you actually can talk to him, he is a very caring, passionate guy. He's awesome. So he's got that look about him. Almost has that kind of scowl. When you looked at the 3 guys, Jason, Dallin, and James, on the initial look, I would think that Jason would be like the tough guy.
Yeah,
and he's not. He's just not, and it cracks me up. Like. He's got some good one-liners and stuff, but I just see he just gets punked by everyone. Even when he tries to come out and poke at people, I always see him just get like repunked right back. It is so funny. So funny. And then Dallin is just he's just like so cool and calm. It's like, I'm just gonna hang out here, I'm just gonna go ahead and kick your ass real fast.
Yeah, he's just confident. He doesn't
Like
need
right
to say
here.
too
Yeah,
much.
it is hysterical, man.
Yeah.
Like it was watching those. It's just funny. It's just is really funny because I've seen, you know, watching Jason kind of go in and out of, you know, is he going to be the spiritual guy, or is he going to be the tough guy, or is it going to be the smart ass, or is it going to be the shit talker, or is it going to be it's like all just kind of like worms through. It's really interesting and fun to watch those guys. And I mean, and again, those guys are all, personally, I think those guys are saving the sport. Those three especially. I mean, Colton's in the mix too,
Colton
but
is in a he's like Colton's like the underground, like, that we all know about him and we all love him. And so like when he does kind of burst out onto the scene or whatever, he's gonna have like 10 million fans and everyone's gonna be like, why does this guy have 10 million fans? Dude, we've known about him for years, bro. You're
totally.
late.
Yeah,
Like, you're late.
he is the epitome of the wrench in the machine. Like he hasn't, you know, I know he's gone to the games. I know he's missed the games. The shitty thing is that it will always be harder for him to get in, just because of the nature of the beast. Like there are, as amazing as he is, and he is amazing. He just has to work harder than everyone else because of his range of motion. He just is. There will be some events that he will beat everyone purely based on range of motion. I mean, his fitness, because everyone's great in their fitness, but he's so fast. But there'll be other things like the rowing and the box jumps and the other elements that he just has to work harder than everyone else. But the thing is that he will always fuck up the system for whoever is on the leaderboard. Always. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if we're talking the fittest in the world at all. It doesn't matter who the fittest is. He will always be in there just to trip you up all the time. And it is, he will be if he, I mean, next to, you know, Rich and Matt and those guys will have the massive following and the legacy that they have. I really honestly believe that Colton will be a name that will go longer than any other of the athletes that are currently in there now, just because of where he is and who he is. He is literally the giant killer.
Yeah.
And I said that, it was funny. Maybe I said this 2 years ago. Maybe it was 2 years ago. I said that he's not going to win the games. He just won't, because there won't be enough events that will be set up exactly for him. And so, like, you know, brands that when they want to look for, you know, they want to get whoever they want to get, if they want to get Justin, or if they want to get whoever, they're almost banking on that person must succeed. Colton is a brand. Colton isn't a did I win or did I lose? Like, that dude is a brand. And like, when you pick him, it doesn't matter if he wins or if he loses. He will always put on a show. He will do things that people, even if he doesn't have the fastest time, people are going to be like, how the fuck is he doing that? Like, there is no way. Everything he does is this massive explosion, like Midas touch gold moment.
Like, he doesn't have to win to be a brand. He just is a brand. Like,
he just is.
Frazier had to win.
Right.
He had to win a whole bunch of times to be the face of something, where Colton just is the face. He doesn't have to.
No.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
I think that like that is something that, you know, for all these athletes that they want to be professional athletes and whatever, like the thing that he has over them right now is he can go just on that alone. Like, he will get brands for that alone. He will get people following him and watching him and adoring him and copying him and buying his stuff, purely because he does things that people aren't supposed to do. Not because he won once or twice and you wait for them to win and now they just don't. And I mean, how shitty is it that you're a CrossFit Games champ, you lose the next year, you don't win, and like you are instantly forgot. Like, what the hell is going on there? Like, but with
crazy.
Colton, no one's forgotten that guy. He didn't even make it to the game.
And we're still watching, and we'd rather watch him on Kill Taylor. Like, we'd rather watch him jump on every other week on Kill Taylor, take everybody's money, and
just go on his day.
He's like,
he worked in the morning. He did Kill Taylor.
He put a roof back on his like barn, his pig barn. The roof blew off the night before, so he was up doing that all morning. And then came in,
stole everybody's lunch money,
torched Jason, and then left. And then he cuts these promos like they're WWE promos. Like, he does the workout. He walks up to the camera and he's like, "Hey, Jason Hopper."
Yeah.
long, deliberate pause. You suck, and then just walks off. It was.
We're all waiting
It
for him to
was
say something like,
so great.
Did you
Yeah,
freeze? Like,
he's
It's like the
amazing.
Attitude Era. It was amazing.
Well, in everyone else that does it, like it almost feels like it's like this weird, contrived, made up. I'm supposed
forced.
to say
Kind of,
this thing.
yeah.
It like he's just.
It was so
I mean,
great.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw it to like to his wrestling thing. Like wrestlers just have that. Like you don't need to talk shit until you need to talk shit. Like you're not saying it all the time. It's not this big ovation. It's right when you need to. And that's what's so great about him. Like he's so quiet. He's
Yeah.
so damn quiet. And then all of a sudden, the second you put a mic in his hand, and you know he'll be talking like this, and then it's be like, "You're a fucking bitch, and I'm gonna beat you." Boom! Drops the mic, walks out, and just destroys everybody.
Yeah.
It is so great. He is because of that. He doesn't. I mean, I know he wants to win the games, and I hope the best for him. I always do, but he will always be ahead of the rest of the field purely because of how he is right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Vicky's right. And I think Vindicate said it. Oh yeah, I played that one already. I think Vicky said it. Vicky said it, and Vindicate said it, and he donated the lunch money he swiped to McCoy's kids. So there's a GoFundMe. You heard that story?
yeah.
We were talking about it a little bit ago. Is that his first name's McCoy, right?
His first name is
Yeah,
McCoy. Yeah.
he was doing all the teaching videos with Taylor.
Yeah. Level 4 coach, level 4 red shirt, flow master, has been in the sport for a very, very long time. So
before we go here, you want to answer the money question for Bill? Keeping it real. What's up, Grant?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. With his score on 25-3, is there any chance he doesn't win the Open?
Colton?
Yeah.
I don't see how he can't win.
I don't either.
I mean,
Dallin's all top 10, but Colton has 2 first places and
Right.
probably a top 10. So
right, and I can't see it, which is great. I mean, which is great, and I love that for Colton. But part of me is like, see who we got. Like, luckily, Dallin is a beast too. But like, I don't think that he got to really use his expertise either. You know what I mean? Like we know that Colton is like, he is a machine. And if you're not going to put anything up there that's going to slow him down somehow, then he'll be up at the top. So I see him winning. I see him winning
the overall. Yeah. I don't think he's going to go 3 for 3. People are asking if he's going to go 3 for 3. I don't think he's going to do 3 for 3. I think this last one.
Yeah.
I think Dallin's score is going to stay or.
Well, I mean, we still don't know what
his actual score is. Yeah.
From last night, because he said he's like, but I don't think he would take the video of the weights and the machine and take all the measurements in that video after he did it on Kill Taylor if that wasn't his best score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If his score from the night before was the better score, why take the video of the weights and the machine and the. So
I know, Jonathan. Where is Barkley? He would know. Barkley would know like this.
It's probably up. It's probably on Apollo.
Somewhere.
He's probably putting it out right now.
Yeah. Totally. So I know we briefly talked about it before we went live, and so the story is, McCoy, he was working with Taylor, and I believe it was the 7th or the 8th. He took his own life. He's from. His background, from what was shared in the post, obviously we don't know too much of his history, is that he was part of the Navy. He's an L4 coach, flow master, red shirt's been doing the thing and really helping a lot of people for a long time. And times like this, when you hear, I kind of had the same reaction when, I don't know if you know who Steven Twitch Boss is. He was a dancer, professional dancer, was on Ellen. And he also, he also took his life very abruptly. And always times like this, when you see people that show themselves, and we talk about this all the time, like it's the internet and we get to show what we choose to show on the internet, but you see these happy, lively people, families, children, like all of this happiness, and then it's to a point where they feel like there's nothing else left, and it's just they take their own lives. So for you, like, initial reaction when you hear stuff like this, like, what's the first thing that you kind of like think about?
I think my initial is that, I mean, it's very easy, and we started talking about it briefly off air. Is that, if it's Navy, if it's, military, if it's fire, it's police, when you see ugly things, it does affect you, and it manifests in really, really, really weird ways. The hard thing about that is that you don't get to pick how it manifests. So some people it can manifest in addiction. Some people it can manifest in depression. Some people it can manifest in um, uh, like their body will physically, they'll get cancers, they'll get ulcers, they'll get weaknesses in different parts, things like that. Things will happen. Whatever that stress is as it's building up, they have to then one, figure out what it is, because a lot of times you don't know what it is.
Mhm.
I, being in the fire service, I saw a lot of gnarly things, but what I also saw was a lot of the ways that people handled those gnarly things. Like, I mean, I've seen a kid pull a guy out of the water at our beach out here, and it was his first time he's ever. I mean, he was a lifeguard with me. I hired him as a lifeguard. He was a lifeguard for 2 years. Great kid, strong swimmer, very protective oriented, all the things. And we pulled this guy out. They take him to the hospital, and he just instantly broke down crying because he didn't know, there was no frame of reference to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
As you
not
get
real till it's real.
No,
You
it's not.
can
Yeah,
read about
exactly.
it, you can see it, you can
Totally.
movies,
Everyone tells
whatever,
you all the
but it's
things.
not real until it's actually real. Yeah.
Right. And then what's strange is when you get that for the first handful of times, you're wondering, and like, okay, well, how am I supposed to respond to this? How do I react to this? Am I reacting right? Am I not reacting right? Am I blocking it out? Am I not blocking it out? And so there's a lot of trying to figure it out. But I really think that people don't get it until it's been compounded for, either a bunch of incidents or a bunch of years or a bunch of time, to where that starts to kind of eat away at you if you aren't aware of it. And so then all of a sudden something clicks
Mhm.
and you are now dealing with it somehow. And
That's gotta be a level of, like, compartmentalizing that I just can't
oh,
even fathom because to
I've said it before on your show. Like, I know myself, I am very good at it. And I think that people that are able to kind of deal with it are, I mean, it's a protective measure, but there is a very dark side to that. Like,
can you put it away
you don't see what's in there, what's in those boxes.
can
Mhm.
you put it away to the point where your significant other just cannot tell that there's something different about you? Because Colleen and I were talking about it. There's no way that there could be something that big that happens that she's not gonna notice that I'm acting weird. And I'm not I think there are people that can do this. It's unfathomable to me.
I think that it is possible. And the reason I think, or when I think it's possible, is when that person had already been doing that job for a while, so they've already been compartmentalizing before, like, that relationship started. So you see them how they are. So you don't know that all of a sudden they're acting different.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Oh,
what I
that
mean?
makes
I
sense.
think that
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
that would be
Okay.
harder to see it that way. But as terrible as that is, um, God, could you imagine, uh, like, for Taylor, what that would feel like? I mean, you just were doing all this work with him and all the
No.
things that Taylor has seen, and like that would be really, 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 like, rough,
Well,
I
he's
would think.
having he did share a little bit on
Kill
Kill
Taylor.
Taylor
Yeah,
and
he has some
had
emotions.
some feelings on it or whatever because he lost his dad so young.
Mhm.
Obviously his father was sick and cancer, and so it was very different, and he just knows, like, as a child, as a son, how he has struggled through life without having his dad.
Yeah.
And so something that he said was that this is the most selfish thing that a dad can do. How do you leave your children? And I think that that's a question that kind of crosses all of our minds, you know, as
Totally.
parents, like as children, we're all children. Like if our parents took their life, like, why would you leave me? And as a parent, like, how could you do that? It's just
It's very easy, I think. It's very easy to have that question come up because it sounds very like, duh, how could you possibly
right.
think about doing that?
Yeah.
However, understanding what they are feeling and the load that they're carrying, like nobody knows. Nobody
Right.
knows how nasty it is. I'm just for my own stuff. Like I coach every day, and my job is to make sure that everyone has the best hour of their day. And I'm, hey, what's going on? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, I want to make sure, that that Laura's doing great, and I'm always making sure that she's good, and I want to make sure that my daughters are good. But even with myself, like I don't showcase all the shit that I'm dealing with, and I deal with a lot of shit like daily. And I mean, literally, like I just was in court last Friday for like custody stuff, which is nasty. It is so nasty. And for someone to think like I have never, thank goodness, like I haven't ever had thought where it would just be better if I wasn't here.
Yeah.
But I have thought a lot of times that like, God, how much more of this am I going to be able to take? Like, I don't know, like, where's the limit to this? Because this is really shitty right now. But
Yeah.
like, so where's the end of the, like, where's the deep end? You know what I mean? Like, I'm going down.
When does it? Yeah.
Like, am I halfway there? Is it only halfway bad right now? Or is it really, am I really deep? Or am I just like, am I at the top of the ocean and it can keep on, like, nobody knows. And I think that's the hard part. So I think I would never say about anyone, like, how could someone do that? I think my more reaction would be, especially from where I sit, is I could only imagine the shit that they were dealing with. Because if I'm dealing with all of my shit and I'm not at that level where I'm thinking that or feeling that, like that, they must have had some dark stuff going on. And that is really, really rough.
And if you do have all that stuff going on in your head, and he would get up, he would go coach, he's trying to make other people's day brighter. He's trying to make people healthy. What did you guys say before we got on there? You guys are basically not even a fitness coach anymore.
No, we're therapists.
Or a life
You're
coach.
a therapist, life coach, right?
Coaches are therapists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have your kids at home. I mean, I don't know anything about their mom, or I don't know any of that story, but I'm sure there's stuff in there somewhere, whatever.
Totally. Yeah.
And to have that as like a bubble inside you, and now you're trying to do all this other stuff, the pressure that is.
I mean,
Have you ever had days where like, I can't get up and go coach today? Like, I just don't have it in me. I can't get up and like help you through your shit. I got my own shit I got to figure out today. Like,
you want to know what's weird is, okay, so I've always been some sort of a teacher. I was a high school teacher before I got into fire. When I was a lifeguard, I taught swim lessons. When I was at the beach, I taught junior guards. When I got into fire, I was the one that taught all like the rescue classes and all the things. And, I teach the classes here for at my gym. So like, I'm always coaching. And what I have found for me is that when things are really, really shitty, it's nice for me to be able to come in and turn my brain off, and I can come in there and make their world better. And this is one of the things that I've heard of, like, SEALs would do this, is like they would say, when you think that you're going to break, the best way, the fastest way, and the easiest way to make yourself feel a little bit better, to be able to hang in the mix a little bit more, is to help the guy right next to you, or the person right next to you.
Here,
You're
come here.
doing good. You're doing. Oh, you wanted to say hi to Bill. Go ahead. He's over on the screen.
Yeah, come here. Do you wanted to ask him something? Go ahead. I'll tell you what he says.
Hi, Bill.
Hi. What's up?
Are you going to go to the CrossFit Games in April or no?
August.
In August? I hope so. I hope I get to see you guys there if I can go.
He said he hopes so, and he hopes he gets to see you if he goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know?
He doesn't
He
know
doesn't
yet.
know.
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Check his
He'll
schedule.
check for you. He's so excited.
Yeah, he's got a schedule. He works.
We
He's
had
got a
your
gym.
show on TV or on the big screen TV the other day, and he was watching it, and he was like, "Is Bill coming to the games?" I was like, "Baby, you already got the card signed." He's, "I know, but I need to see him again." And I'm like, "Okay, all right."
He's
That's
huge
very
fans.
cool.
Yeah,
He's
he's a
huge
huge fan.
fans of you guys. You
Yeah.
guys were so good to him at Crash. We were so
Oh
good.
man, it was awesome.
I'm
Hold
so
on.
really a fan of
I know.
I know you're such a big fan of Bill Grundler.
You're showboating.
He's like, oh, I wanted to just say hi and
that's awesome.
talk.
That's so cool.
No, Jan. Or watch Outside the Box. Yeah, he can watch that. He just can't watch our our chat appreciation that we do with the boys. And we were listening to Kill Taylor in the car today, and I'm like, I don't know if we can listen to Kill Taylor with him in the car unless he has headphones. Not sure if we can.
I mean, it's very free flowing. You know, it's very free flowing.
When they all just started dropping the words, he's like, because we're starting to talk about like words you can say at home and words you can say in school. He's like, oh, that's an at-home word. I'm like, that is absolutely an at-home word. You cannot say that.
It's an at-home word or only the Sevon Show word.
Right. So have you always been aware of how good, for lack of a better term, that you compartmentalize anything? Because I almost wonder if sometimes people don't know that they're compartmentalizing. I think Jonathan Ortega kind of said it, like it kind of, you don't feel the symptoms for a long time for some people. You don't from stress or experience or PTSD or anything like that. So have you always been aware that you've been really good at compartmentalizing, or is that has taken, like, you've realized it later on?
I think I was good with it without even knowing that I was doing it, because it took me a while to realize that I did do that. I think I kind of loosely would, you know, I wouldn't say it that use those words necessarily. I'd be like, I just push it back. It'll be fine. You know, I'm fine. I just won't think about it, like that kind of stuff. Whereas really boxing and locking and putting things in these like steel boxes that were, no more can be broken by anything. But it wasn't until I think that being an athlete where you are used to pushing away pain and discomfort anyway, starts it. And so you have the ability to push through discomfort already. I mean, I've been an athlete since I've been wrestling since I was 5. So I mean, like, I've been an athlete for like ever and ever and ever. All the training that I've done, you get used to doing that. And that's just physical discomfort. So all of a sudden, as you go through life, you start whatever, shitty relationships or financial issues or, whatever, all the stressy things that can go on the list start to happen. And then, like, that's what's funny. Like, I was talking to my mom about this, like, just the other day. She's like, we were talking about, the court stuff or whatever. And she's like, I just would never have written this out this way with you. Like what? Like, you were such a good kid. You had no problems with anything. And
like,
man, you just got to this
Mom.
like one point, and then it just like went wham. And like all of these, I'm like, I know, I'm the same. I'm right there with you, Mom. I hear you. I don't know what's happening. But I think that, like, it is if you have the ability to deal with discomfort, it instantly allows you to go further. And we talk about this in CrossFit all the time, being comfortable with the uncomfortable. Most of the people that win in a race, especially if there's a battle, it's the one that can deal with the pain the most, who can handle the discomfort the most. So if that's what your normal is, then any discomfort gets put into these bodies. Like, well, I'll just shove it to the side. Won't think about this. Won't think about that. Won't get worried about this. Won't concern myself with that. But like physical discomfort will go away. Emotional discomfort doesn't go away. Kind of just gets, that box just gets piled up. That box just gets piled up. And I think that's the hard part, is that not that these men and women that decide to take their own life, not that they are weak. Being able to say it that easy, they're just weak, and that's why they did it. I
Right.
think it's that the box that they had just became really, really full. One of my Christmas traditions, I'll always watch It's a Wonderful Life, always.
Yeah.
And that story is exactly that. Here's what happens if you're not here. Here's what the world looks like if you don't exist anymore. If this bad thing, no matter how bad it is, and there are a lot of bad things out there that happen to people. I think that if you can somehow look at that and be like, okay, yeah, it is shitty right now. Like, accept the shittiness of what it is, but then somehow try to keep on going, because there are people that depend on you. I think it's sad when it gets to the point where it's better. You think it's better for them that I'm not here.
That's what
And
they have to be
that's just
thinking,
sad.
right? That I would
Yeah.
have to be so bad that that's what I think, that it'd be better for my family if
Like
I
right.
was not here, and I don't know how you get there, man.
Like, see, that's the question. If you're on this side of the line, that will always be how you'd ask that. Like,
Yeah.
I can't see how you could possibly do that.
I
If
know.
you're on the other side of the line, it's like, I can't possibly make it out of this cave. Like,
Yeah.
it is so dark. I don't even know where I am anymore. Like, and I'm not saying that I have seen that, but that's the only thing that I can imagine. Like, if someone's going to cross that line and make that choice, the stuff that is there has got to be so, I mean, to them, and granted, there's a relativity to that.
Yeah.
Has got to be so dark and scary and ugly, man. Like, that just, I couldn't even imagine it. I couldn't even imagine it. And here's McCoy, who, if you look on the outside, it looks like everything is fine. And I think that's one of the things that's really, really important is, not even talking about, suicide and that sort of thing, but like, nobody knows what people are dealing with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ever. It doesn't matter if they're in a good mood. It doesn't matter if they're in a bad mood. It doesn't matter if they're just not. I mean, I have people at the gym, like, sometimes they'll show up at the gym and they don't say a word to anybody.
Yeah.
And some people are like, God, why are they like that? I'm like, hey, they're just doing their thing, man. Like, they're getting whatever they need out of this place right now.
It's
You're
good
getting
that they're
whatever you
here.
need,
Yeah.
The
and
bigger
this is
picture
like
that they're here. Yeah.
totally. And this is where the life coach part starts kind of sliding in, is to one of my advantages now when I'm coaching is that I've seen a lot of stuff now. Like, I'm an older guy. Like, I've been around this planet, over half a century, put on my Gandalf hat and my long
You're like,
beard and my staff,
Get you, yeah.
So like
We'll ship you a cane sometime soon. So.
Yeah, totally. I like being able to talk to people about whatever it is that they're talking about, and without having like the youthful judgment filter that goes up on people. Like, about anything. It can be literally about anything, about family stuff, about politics, about money, about I don't know, whatever, nutrition, whatever, jobs, whatever. It is really fun to just let people talk and help them go through, not by saying I know what to do, but like, I mean, have you guys ever gone to therapy?
Yeah.
Like, usually what the therapist does is just asks a question back to you, and you are talking yourself through it.
Yeah.
You just have the question, instead of me going like, God, why am I doing? It's just someone else saying, why are you doing it? Why do you think you're doing? Well, why do you feel that way when it's this way? How come you always say these things? And I think that is something, that is what I do here. And it's really fun. Even if I don't agree with it at all. There was a guy, totally random. There's a guy we had, I mean, random, not suicide, not
Yeah.
like, court therapy, when like that. But, in our gym, we have a very eclectic mix. And that's, to me, the greatest thing about our gym. That's what I love the most is, I mean, political differences, ideological differences, religious differences, age differences, everything. We have got the full spectrum. And we have this one guy who was talking about, he's a professor here at Cal Poly, this Asian guy. And he was like talking about how his administrators were wanting him to do something in class, and he was going to somehow, what do you say? He was using the word revolt, but it was like, he's a very soft guy. Like, he's not a fuck you. He's just, okay, I'm just gonna do. And I'm like, what does your revolt look like anyway? Like, what do you mean? Like, what does that look like? I want to see that. I want to see that guy. And he's like, well, I don't really do it that way. He's like, when I was getting my doctorate and everything, they make you read all these books. And so this one book that I read, that it was talking about, you could have a very passive revolt that goes kind of unseen, but gets the job done that you want done. And I'm just kind of listening to him, and he's talking about like, yeah, like, if the machine wants you to do more work, then, you decide not to show up that day. I go, yeah, but you won't get paid. And he's like, yeah, but the machine doesn't get what it wants. And whatever. I got what I wanted out of that. Or I do just enough. I don't try to overachieve. I'll just do whatever I need to do. I'm not breaking the rules, just doing enough. So it slows the machine up, bogs it down. So I'm just kind of poking at the machine that way. And one of the other members was like joking. He's like, pussy, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, yeah, but you don't get paid then. He's like, yeah, but that's not what I want. And so it was a really interesting conversation, because I could never do that. There's no way that I could be that way. But that was the way that worked for him. And so in that situation, it was just like letting him just kind of talk, and just kind of, this is how he operates. And it makes he's allowed to work at that. That's the life coach thing, where you just, I do not agree with any of the things
where you
want to
jump through your skin when you hear certain things, and
totally.
I'm like, oh my god! But you
and I'm
don't.
like,
You're just like, okay.
But but it's crazy, because like being with Mike's experience with stuff, being in my locker room group, listening to like Sevon ask questions to whatever look at what's the best thing that Sevon does. He can talk to anybody. And why? Because he just lets them talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he asks some questions, and he'll be like, okay, but what about, how does it work if you're doing da 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 da? You let him talk. So like, it's a very enjoyable experience, even though I completely disagree with whatever it is that they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I have a couple friends that are like therapists, that's their career and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how you do it. All you do all day long is listen to people bitching about whatever. And then here I am, actually, like, that's what I do a lot of times. I listen to people bitching all day long.
They just get paid a lot more money than you.
But what it is like, you don't let, like, as the therapist, as the coach or whatever, you don't let them affect you. Like, I'm not taking on their energy. I'm letting them talk, just kind of working through it. And that's part of the enjoyment of that, is watching that kind of play out, I guess. I don't know.
And that's also a skill too, where you don't take on their bullshit, where you don't hold on to their bullshit.
It's a big deal. One, I think that's why, like, for me, that's my deflection. So when I put my shit to the back, and then I'm just talking to them about their stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not even thinking about my stuff anymore.
Yeah. I realize that helps me be a much better coach when I don't not that I feel the same that they do, but then you hear it all the time. So you almost wear it. Like, it's like, I put a scarf on, and then I put another one on, and I put a hat, and then I would feel the weight of all of everybody's bullshit, being a coach and coaching, 7 days a week, being there all morning and whatever. When I started to stop you can offer me a hat, but I'm not going to put the fucking hat on. Like,
Yeah.
I just, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's a skill though, that you have to learn, because
100%.
when you do have those certain clients that just come in and there's just always something, there's no happiness ever. And you're like, not one day, not one little glimpse of happiness, nothing. Like, I used to do that as a coach. Did you ever, or were you always just very good at just deflecting and being like, it's your shit, it's not my shit, I'm just there to be a sounding board, listening and everything like that?
Yeah, it wasn't a deflecting thing. It was more I just put the spotlight on them. And so it's not on me. So I'm not taking any of it on.
Yeah.
I know how I would do certain things, or I would act a certain way, or I would respond to a certain whatever. But it's not about me. It's always about them. It's funny because Laura is very, like, she takes on people's energies a lot. Like, she's very empathic. So, like, she just feels all of that. Whereas I am not that. I keep everyone like right at arm's length. And it's I joke about that a lot to the people that like know. It's like, hey, how did you handle so and so was right in your face? I'm like, they were right there. One arm length away. Like, I'm good. I'm good. Like, there's only a handful of people that get inside the arm length, you know?
Yep.
Or if I let them into the arm length, and usually when I'm at the gym, I don't let them in. I'm there to help them.
Yeah.
I'm not there to take on their energy.
Right.
And
that's great. Not my circus, not my monkeys. That's awesome.
yeah, totally.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, but you know what's really weird is it's I do think that it's a skill that is either learned or developed over time or whichever, but I also think that like certain people are just wired that way. Like I'm social all day long.
I was about to say, you have
All
to be
day
around
long.
people to develop these skills. You can't. Someone said that social media makes it way worse, and it makes it way worse because you don't have to be around anybody to talk to somebody if you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't have to read facial cues or sarcasm, or people don't even know what sarcasm is anymore because they text all day and they can't hear they've never heard sarcasm before.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
you actually have to go out in the world to kind of develop all these skills that you guys are talking about.
Well, think about it. Have you ever met, I mean, you probably have, because we've all had bad teachers and stuff, but like generally speaking, if you have a decent teacher, were they an introvert or an extrovert? Most teachers, because they're talking all day long, I mean, and they could be personally an introvert, but like you would not know it because they're talking to everyone like
Right.
they're all through the day. Like
Yeah.
that is what they do. They have to talk. They have to speak. They have to, enunciate. They have to have a relationship with this kid and that kid and this kid that doesn't want to even be in class. I mean, I have the same thing. It's really both my parents were teachers, and so they just know how to be able to have a relationship with someone, but have it not be a relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they can work with that kid or that athlete or that student or that person and help them on a very personal level without them being like, I'm establishing this so that I can help you because you obviously want the help and that's what I'm here to do.
Right.
I'm either paid to be or you're paying me to be, or it's whatever, the 9:15 class. And so I'm supposed to be here, whatever. But like, I don't need you.
Yeah.
You need me.
Yeah.
So it is a one-way relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, and some people want that and some people don't want that. Like I said, there are people I've had coaches that I have to tell them, stop getting on that person because they aren't all bubbly and happy, and that they're doing them right now. I'll joke about, you're at the best barbecue place ever, and you are the best barbecue chef cook, and you make the best steak ever. And they come in, they order your steak, and they decide just to lick the top and throw it away. Okay, like, Is that going to change you making the steak? No, they ordered a steak. So I'm going to make the steak. You do whatever you want with it. So if that person doesn't want to talk, okay, cool, man. Hey. And actually, I'm like, we're doing the things on the board. Okay, and Sarah, what'd you get? And Matt, what did you get? And hey, Ben, what'd you get? I got 2. Okay, cool. Because they don't want to say it out loud. Like, I get it. It's like,
right.
Know your audience and all that kind of stuff. So
that steak thing would piss me off, though. I don't know if I could.
You get paid the exact same.
Oh, I know, but oh my god.
And that right there, I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
That is the difference between the people that do this hours in the day. If they got pissed about that kind of stuff, could you imagine how just ruined they would be by like Tuesday night? There's no way. So
just always being upset. Yes, I remember living that life of just always being upset by something, and I enjoy this life way better than not being upset all the time. So do you think that, and I know that this is like a stigma, I guess, for men, is that like you're not really supposed to talk about your feelings. You're not supposed to talk about what you've gone through and show emotions and stuff like that. It's kind of the stigma that goes around. So do you feel like there isn't enough support for men, and whether it's therapists or life coaches or guys that get together? I read a lot now and see a lot now that there's dad groups. There's always been mom groups, but now there's like dad groups, or people that went to college together and all this type of stuff. Like, do you feel like that it's enough, or do you feel like the stigma is changing for men?
I think that I do think that there is a stigma about what you're supposed to show, and it's like I am cut from the cloth that like you're supposed to be a tough, protective, masculine man. That's how my dad was, and that's the way I see myself. That being the case, I don't think I was ever, told that like, men don't cry or anything like that. I mean, I'm a far cry from Chase, who like, the wind blows at like 3 miles an hour. Then all of a sudden he's like tearing up. He's like, it's getting tough. It's getting tough, man. It's getting tough. But he knows that. He says it himself. Right. So
and
he knows.
The piss out of each other. You're right, Jake. You're right.
But I do think that it's not that there aren't resources. I think it's that men don't understand what resources they're supposed to get. They don't know. I don't think they know what they're like. What is the issue that they're having? I think that's the hard part. Like, I almost think it's funny that they're all the dad groups around.
Poor Chase can't even defend himself.
He wouldn't even need to right now. He would agree. He would be the first to say that he does that. He knows that.
Whenever like, Chase and I talk about kids, we're like,
the two of them.
Totally. I mean, I will admit though, like when it comes to my kids, if I'm watching them do what they do, I will always tear up.
Yeah. That's
all the time. I mean, all the time. But I think like the dad group things, like
I won't pull up Trisha's comment. Just look in the comments.
Trish has entered the chat
underneath that.
Please. All hail Trish.
Jan, okay. Really? Did you know that?
Ever hear that?
Did you know that they've made our last name into a noun?
Yeah, I'm kind of flattered by it, actually.
I mean, it's not a,
we were joking.
It is a term of endearment, right?
Did you hear where Sevon changed our name?
No.
The chat. No, it was Barry McCockiner, I think.
It was the chat.
The chat changed our name to Glit and Things.
No, Clit.
Oh.
Yeah, and I said Glit. I said make it with a G.
I mean, hey, I'm a fan, so like, like I said, like it's not like if we're saying that that's a bad thing, then I would disagree.
No,
I'm all for it.
I laugh all the time. I think it's great. It's
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But yeah, I think that like the dads groups and stuff like that, like I'm glad that they're there because I think that there are going to be guys that need them. I can't speak on a lot about them because I've never joined anything like that. And I don't know if it's because I've been part of teams my whole life, so I never really thought about it. And I mean, when it came to, I guess I'm kind of one of those people that's like, I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of associates. I have a lot of friends, even like good friends. But my circle is small of like the
Yeah.
people that are really on the inside. And those are the only ones that that if I really need to go to someone that I would like be like, hey, I need to talk. I'm not afraid to say that. So maybe that's what it is too. Like
Yeah.
I have
You
some
have your
avenues if I
people.
need to
You
go.
have,
Yeah.
you have your
But
people.
but I do think that generally anyone needs to be able to talk if they are running into some problems with something to someone, whether you're going to pay for them or not pay for them,
Mhm.
whether it's a friend that you have or whatever, your parents or your significant other, whatever. You have to have some sort of an outlet, because what does happen is, and everyone that has done 25.3 can attest to this, because you were talking to that voice that's in your head the entire time. And that voice usually ends up being way louder than you want it to be.
Yep.
And they're the ones that you end up following, mostly because they're just the louder voice.
Yeah.
So when I'm coaching, one of the things that I will do, like when I'm working with people, is I try to be the louder voice than them. And I don't say it's not big, long, drawn out monologues, even though I am a talker. It's like, you're fine.
Yep.
You are fine.
Yeah.
Pick up the bar. Keep moving. One more rep. I mean, whatever the thing is,
Yep.
that's the voice you need to hear. And that if you don't have someone to talk to, then that voice, that one that sits in your head, is the one that ends. It's the little devil on your shoulder. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
Would you do a group like Kalipa's group that goes out and they just do like man shit all morning? Like they go running and bear crawling and like, I don't know. It's like it's a man exercise group at like 5 in the morning that just like does
chopping wood
like
and
they
shit.
they go to like a empty parking lot or a park or a whatever, and they just jump over shit and I don't know. They do man shit. I don't do
I'll take
push-ups
that as
off
a
each
no.
other's pickup trucks and
I don't. Mostly because like I already feel that I am. Like I don't
Right.
need to go and do man shit. Like I think that is what I do. Like I don't try to do things that appear masculine or whatever. Like I do me, and what me is I want to keep me ready to be able to handle whatever's going to come at me. Like if you were to ask my daughter, hey, what's your dad's job? She won't say CrossFit coach and this or that. She'll say to protect me. That is my job.
Mhm.
And as long as my kid knows that, as long as, Laura and her boys know that about me, then I'm doing the things I need to do to align to that. If that means I need to go out and push a truck somewhere, like, okay, fine. Or if I need to like I've already done all those things. Like, cool. Like,
You
it's
gotta carry
fun.
Savon on your back.
do box
take him
jumps
out of
on
the
their
woods.
I don't know. Like, again, this is no bad on what those guys are doing. I think it's cool. I think it's fun, because at least for them, because at least there isn't the element of I need to act or be something different because my wife is here or my kids are here, or the social construct of whatever is saying that I need to do X, Y, and Z. I don't know, man. Like if I have never been confused about what a man, a masculine man is supposed to be. I mean, my dad was the epitome of that. He was a big, strong, protective, loving, gentleman. He opened the doors, opened the door for my mom. I like that was the template that I grew up with. And that's how I see it. I remember when all the toxic masculinity stuff was coming out, and they were saying that like opening up doors for women is downgrading.
It's toxic. You didn't
Yeah.
know?
And I was like,
Holding a door
I
open
was
for someone is toxic.
pissed.
Yeah.
Like, it's toxic. You need to let that door slam behind you, and they need to open their own door.
I was pissed when I read that. I was like, well, first of all, my first comment was fuck off.
Yep.
Now I'm going to open up the door and push your ass through it now, because that's what's going to happen. But
Just
like,
kick it with my
I'm
foot.
like, you know what? Okay. And this is how this is how I lead myself with a lot of all of the changing, the ebbs and flows of how everyone is seeing and feeling and whatever, you know, what words you're allowed to use or not supposed to use, or you need to use, or you can't use. I will always base my actions on, like a gentleman code of conduct, where it's like, look, you know what? You stand up for, you protect your family. You stand up for, you know, those that need it. Kind of the chivalry kind of thing. You open the doors up. You let someone go. You know, you let your family go before you, or you open up the doors. You make sure that it's safe, and then they come in after you, or you hold the door open for. You know, I don't hold the door open only for women. I go to the Starbucks down here every time, and if I open the door to leave, I will always look back to see if anyone's coming, so to hold the door open for them.
Yeah.
That is what that is what a
thank
gentleman
you.
does.
I only hold the door open for women, children, and old men. If you're a capable man that can open a door, not waiting for your ass.
I will say this,
Feminism, right, babe?
Yeah. Listen.
I will say that, like, there have been many times where I will hold the door open for. I mean, the guy usually doesn't have this issue, but like I'll hold the door open for a female, and there's been a range of ages on this one. I will only let the old ladies that don't respond correctly on this. I'll let them go, because I'm like, okay, you know what? You've done your life. Yeah, I respect my elders. You're fine. Okay, whatever. But if I open up the door and they don't say thank you,
oh yeah,
I will make sure to. You're welcome.
Yes, you're allowed. You're
every
welcome.
time.
Every time. Yeah.
Me too.
Every time.
Me too.
Because all it is it's just respect.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just being a nice human being. And if you're not going to be a nice human being, fine. But
I still am going to be.
Oh man, there was a.
Do you say wait, Bill? Do you say the all words? You are welcome. Like, do you?
Maybe I'll say you're, but I'll make sure that they heard that. I'll be in the car. We're driving, and my daughter's in the car with me and stuff, and I'll wave someone on so they can go, or they'll wave me. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. And she's like, they can't hear you. I'm like, yeah, I know, but there's a conversation that's happening.
Yeah.
So we were coming out of the store yesterday, and I waved this lady, whatever. Came by, you know, and I go, and didn't wave, nothing, no like reciprocal, like thank you. And I go, and you will not ever get away from me again. And she's like, do you think they heard that? And I go, it doesn't really matter. I remember exactly what that lady looked like: shaved head, piercing in the nose, gauge in the ear, lip, ring in the lip.
Ooh.
And I go, I don't think I'll forget her. So next time I'm going, she's gonna have to wait till I pass.
See,
it's
the same
really
way
easy.
you feel about this is the same way I feel about licking a fucking steak and walking out after I spent my time making the fucking steak.
Okay, but here's the difference. One is you're doing your job. The other one is just being a good human.
Okay.
Yeah, fair.
Fine. Yes.
Yep.
You know, and good human one. But like for me, and talking about like all the dad's groups and all that, like I like that, to me is what a gentleman is supposed to do. And I see a gentleman as someone that does all of those things, like that does. Yeah, if I need to go chop, okay, cool. Like I'll do work. It's not chopping wood that makes you masculine. You know, it's not like I have an axe in my hand and now all of a sudden I'm instantly like a lumberjack, which is instantly like masculine man. you know,
Mhm.
or
Oh, that's what happens in my head. If you're holding an axe and have like that hat on and shit and whatever, that instantly to me, you're masculine.
it's funny.
Now,
I
if
don't
you
know.
see
It just
Gavin
cracks me
Newsom,
up.
instantly to me, you're not masculine. Like that's just like,
I mean, I think that's where, like, if you know, if I need to, you know, if I'm, well, I mean, I don't have to do it so much anymore because she'll go with her mom to whatever little, like, to get her nails done and whatever. But like, I was really good. I can do all the nails. I can do the
Mhm.
fingernails. I can, you know, mani pedis. I'm good at that. Doing like the arts and crafts stuff, baking stuff. I can, you know, braid hair. I can do all of the things. I'm a masculine enough man that I can do all of the man things and have no issue doing this stuff with my daughter without having any
Yep.
question about,
Your
you know,
masculinity.
am I being man enough? Am I not being? And the thing is that my daughter knows, like, we can do all of those things, but she knows that dad's going to protect her. Why?
Yeah.
Because because dad is fit enough to do it. She knows the things that I do. And I don't need to say it. I just do them.
Yep.
yeah.
I'm not going to the dad's group to be a man. I just am. Like that's the hard part. Like that's just me. Like and I'm not trying to be. That is just how I grew up being that guy, and that's I just like that, being that guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jake,
I hope my girls are cool with that.
dear,
So I think that they are.
if you have a gluten big enough to get caught in a zipper, I
Oh
think
my
you need to see a
gosh.
doctor.
Wow.
I'm just saying. I feel like you might need to go to the hospital. The gluten should not be that big. And then wait, I have a question from if you're holding an axe, I'll get the door for you and call you sir all day. Just don't get crazy. And then Megan wanted to know, how do you feel about women holding open doors for you?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's fine, right? It's not a
Yeah.
big deal.
What I really appreciate is when at least someone looks. Like as the older gentleman, if I see that they are, you know, they wait to hold of me, oh, thank you, and I'll grab the door
Yes.
to kind of relieve them of that. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm appreciative. Like
Yeah.
in that realm, it's like you're just being a good human. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll respect that, and I will reciprocate with that and let them know and give them all that. So
I'm gonna make sure that I open every door for you if you're at the games. I'm just gonna walk around and be his door opener. That's fine.
Oh, really, Jan? I opened a door to a lady wiping her arse the other day, and
That's not cool.
That's not cool.
In what in a bathroom? Did you go in the wrong bathroom, Jan?
Did you?
What happened?
No, we did not ask him about having to do scaled wall
No,
walks.
sorry.
You know, in my division, that is the regular wall walk.
Oh, is that what
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
The scaled wall walk is
The one
my
hand
regular wall
Is
walk.
your RX version of?
I'm not doing that, but like, yeah, that's what it is.
Oof.
Really?
And the same weights. That it's like 125. No, it's whatever you did.
155, 85, and 65.
Yeah, that would be my weight.
That's your weight?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he did that workout next to you?
No.
I would have had jumping pull-ups in the last workout.
Oh man.
Wait, so
Jumping
is that what? And I know you have to go,
55,
so
55-year-olds. Yep.
Sevon needs to switch age groups with you so badly.
But isn't that like this is where it's bad? Like I'm all for the open. I would rather have the open be harder than the all-inclusive thing, because the all-inclusive thing makes it to where people are more worried about like finishing rather than like, can they do the things? Like now it's not, when you can't do everything, then it's a test.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, and that is why I have a really hard time with what's going on. Like the 50-year-olds, if I was 54, I would be doing the 225, 135, 95.
Yeah.
Wow.
The following year, I'm doing the scaled wall walks. I'm doing 155. I'm doing 80, and I'm doing 65.
Crazy.
Right.
That's insane. Just think about it, because Sev is in the the category he wants to be in.
Yeah.
And he's in the category Steph wants to
Yeah.
be in.
And I haven't done, I the last 2 years, the second year I've done this, but like, I won't do, this is the second year I'm in the 55 plus, and I only do the regular, the open workouts.
The regular open, yeah.
I won't. I joke about the dumbbell weight. It's a 50 for all of them, and then it goes to the 35, which is usually like the women's weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the weight that if I'm in class, I'm going to demonstrate with, because you learn not to grab the heaviest weight that you're trying to
Right.
and we usually have, heavier stuff. So like, I'm not going to grab the heavy one. So I'll grab the 35. There is no way that I will race with the 35. I just won't do it.
Right.
It doesn't, no offense to anyone that's in those divisions at all. That is me. That was the same thing of why I didn't join the Masters division early.
Yeah.
Because that's not the race that I want. That's all. Not
Bill,
bad on them. Just that. So
Sharon Petrowski.
This is a good question, Sharon.
Yeah,
Bill,
maybe. I just haven't done it that way. I like, Chase has done that. I think it was because he didn't have an affiliate, and that was making him kind of like get back into it, and that's why he did it. I just haven't thought about doing it, but we can. Yeah, we
That'd
can.
be so cool
That'd
to
be very
see you guys
cool, yeah.
like side to side, and
Yeah.
you guys play both videos. And you guys just watch yourselves doing that.
Back in the old days, it would have been it would have been good because we would literally go back and forth on events.
Did you see John and Tyler with the side-by-side point two videos?
Yeah.
How the hell? John literally sits on a box and hangs out for I don't know how long before he does something. And he's still finished.
Yeah.
That's what killed me.
Well, again, like if look at the things that he can do. I mean,
That's
he's a strong guy. And then
He
he might not have the fitness that like, that like Hiller has or something like that are really that try to keep their fitness like there.
Yeah.
But like right now he's just trying to get
crazy.
strong. He's just trying to get strong. So
Yeah.
But
it's still crazy though that even without doing like fitnessy type stuff, I guess right now or whatever that, and he would do some of the reps and then walk all the way across the room, do a big ass circle, walk all the way back, do some more stuff, and then walk away again. I was like, John, where are you going? And I was like, oh, he's coming back. And then he sat down just chilling on a box, and he still finished in 10 something. It was insane. That dude's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That was cool. That was fun to watch them go. It was
That
fun.
was nuts.
So, but all right, guys. Unless you have anything else, I'm gonna go mess with my kid now. Since he
I'm gonna go mess with my kids. I think we're gonna go to the beach. We gotta go get
it's like you're like a college game day. Like when they get back there and they were going like this behind you and stuff.
They were just jumping in.
It's college game day.
Yeah.
That's what they do. You almost ready to go? Okay.
All right.
All right.
I guess that's about ready.
That's your cue.
All right.
That's your cue.
Look how cute she is.
I know. I love the sass. That's awesome.
She's got a lot of sass.
How old
a lot
is
of sass. Huh?
How old is she?
9.
9.
Yeah.
9 going on like 22.
17.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're 9. Will you relax a little bit, please? All
right, guys.
No, not at all. Right.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey,
all right, guys.
Thanks for having me on, guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you
see
so
you
much,
soon, Bill.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
That was so fun. Deuces.